a good combination that we felt that'll be suitable for beginners and also for the seasoned modelers. Hello, this is BJ from Hearns Hobbies, and I'm going to be having a closer look at the 9Steps sanding blocks. So we've got the sanding blocks here. Now it took us a long time to find a good combination that we felt that'll be suitable for beginners and also for the seasoned modelers. So what you can see there is there's blocks of urethane foam with different grits of sanding material on each side. So we've got it marked. So for example, this one here, so the top surface here is 240 grit, which is the roughest. The bottom there is 400 grit, which is marked there. Likewise, you got 600 grit on the top here, 800 on the bottom, 1000 on the top of this one, and 1200 on the base of that one. Now we've chosen these because with our experience with building models, we found these to be the most useful. So 400 is very, very good to go to for cleaning up parts which you just cut off, say the sprue. 240 is great for readjusting parts if you've got big chunky bits hanging off it, because that's very abrasive. 600 and 800 is great for preparation of the initial build, and then with adjusting for painting. So you got the final ones here, so 1000, 1200 grit, and they're perfect for finishing up the surface. Just say you've sprayed a rough primer on and you're ready to do your top coats. This can also be used for polishing up plastic just before you start painting. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. So I'll show you some of the characteristics of them. So they've all got the same foam. You see that they're quite firm, but they do have some give. So the give helps with some of the slightly curved areas. And it's got a nice firmness, so it's not as stiff, I guess, as a file. And it's got a lot more, I guess, feel compared to a file. So they're all going to feel like that. Now the great thing about these is you can use them just as is, or another thing you can do is you can actually cut them to a particular size and use them for your tight areas, and that's something I'm going to show you how to do right now. So best thing to do is get a pen. So I've got a pen handy. So I'm going to be cutting a bit off. So because I'm going to cut a bit off that's not going to be marked, I'll mark the sections first so I can remember which grit's on each one, and then I'll cut it up. So quite simply, so this one on the top here, I just write 400. Oops. 400 and my terrible writing there. 240 here. Might just make that a bit clearer. Okay, so I've just written there, and just using a sharp knife, so I've got my trusty modelling knife, I'm just going to slice this all the way through here. So I'll start with here. So just do it with a few passes. Okay, and that's all the way through. Okay, so we've still got the markings there, so we know which one's which. See, it's been cut fairly cleanly, so that's the urethane foam there, allowing it to do that. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this can feel a bit stiff. So, I mean, like this, it's very handy because it's small, you'll be able to get into finer areas now. But just say you wanted something a bit finer, well, we can slice that again. So I'm going to slice this in half. Actually, let's go thirds, okay? So it'll show you the difference between the thicknesses. Let's go this, slowly go through. Just a little bit more over here. Okay, there we go. So we'll cut it through like that. Okay, so we've got the three different thicknesses now. So see this again. Pretty stiff. Go for the 2/3 one. Got some give now. Like that. And then the 1/3 one. It's much more flexible. Like that. And then again, if you need to, you can slice it again. Just make it really, really small. Now this is quite a tough abrasive. It's waterproof, so you can use these wet as well. And then after you finish using them, you can wash them off. Just get in here. I think my blade's getting a bit blunt, but it's getting through. There we go. There you go. There's your tiny little bit. Okay, nice and flexy. ready to use. So there you can see you can customize these to whatever size you like, whatever shape. And then just say you got this here, so I've got a bit that's got a really rough cut there. So let's do that with the 240, so it's 240. Same like that. So you see that's cutting back quite quickly. Just keep going. So it's taking off a lot of material, and I'm going to go to the point where it's taken off all that stress mark and it's going to be totally flat. Oh, that's pretty close. So for all intents and purposes, that's pretty good. So that's 240 grit. Okay, so 240 grit, then we'll hit it with 400 grit, which will be finer. Okay, so you can see that's a little bit smoother. And then you go for 600. And progressively, it's going to get smoother and smoother, and you'll eventually see a sheen coming out. Okay, so this is 800. Like that. And then we'll finish off with 1000. Like that, and then 1200. Like so. So you can see how smooth it is, and then if you use these wet, then it'll be smoother again. Because basically the water in it will act like a slight lubricant, and it'll give it a finer cut. So that's my introduction to the 9-step sanding blocks. Hope you enjoyed that demonstration. It shows you just how easy it is to use. Actually, before you go off, I might just show you how this little thing here, how flexible it is there. So just say you wanted to sand this curve here, so you can bend it like so. You can make that thinner again if you wanted to, and then you just sand across here, and we'll be able to make that fully curved. Just like that. Easy. So if you need something for sanding your models, then this is a really good set to get, because it comes with all those different grades that we've picked out to work for pretty much any circumstance. And then if you want to do finer polishing, you get a super fine polishing set of sandpapers. Or if you need something really rough, then rougher than that, I would probably go to a file. So that's the 9-steps sanding blocks. You can use them wet or dry, and you can cut them to shape, and you can use them for polishing up just like I've shown you there.